Okay, so this is now the third video. So what copper EMF, let me show you today's date, by the way. So what copper EMF, is the third video of today's date. What copper of EMF guitar tape does is that it gets placed on the skin of an electric guitar. Okay? And then what it does as a result is that it grounds the guitar from any EMF impedance that is in the environment from surrounding electrical equipment. So that energy, EMF fields from the surrounding electrical equipment will not impede itself on the skin of the guitar and then interfere with the electric guitar's operations. So basically what it does is it grounds the guitar. I learned about some of, I got the concept actually from my dad. I used to help my dad when I was real little, and I mean real little. Okay, like 10 and 11. I used to help him sometime when he was stuck, when he needed a helping hand when he was doing something working on a car. Excuse me. And like he'd have me hold the flashlight, and then I'd say, "Hey, Dad, what you doing?" And he'd say, "I got to put electrical tape around these wires so that the heat from the surrounding parts of the engine did not impede on the wire." Okay? So that concept always stayed with me. It always stayed with me. Okay? And so I could literally feel the electricity going through my body. It wasn't just going from the ear to the neck to the shoulder area, and then down into the back, and then other times to the chest, and then it was falling down from, because it was taking several directions. It all depended on how they were hitting me. I'd either be hitting the chest, or it would go around into the back, and then sometimes from the chest it would go down to the side, sometimes to the back it would go down in towards the back and the spine area, and then back, and I also felt attacks in the abdomen area. And so I could literally feel the electricity. It was an immobilizing extreme pain. Okay? So if I got something like this in me, because I got to say things carefully, you need to know that they weren't just using these types of things for experimentation purposes, which are many different types. They were also being used to control me and to immobilize me, to force me to stay in environments so they could continue the torture of me. Literally. Because one thing you gotta understand about gang stalking crimes, folks, is that another equally important crime motive is to disable you, to get a hold of you, to put you in a group home so that you can use you for racketeering schemes, insurance fraud schemes, staged videotaped rapes, and much more for the rest of your fucking life. And they don't give a shit at all. They're animals. They're absolute animals. Absolutely. So, now, so consider this. So what I did was, as a result of me experiencing extreme brutal pains, I remembered that concept from helping my dad. So I thought, well, I know this is electricity going through me. So one day when I was on Amazon, I stumbled across the copper EMF tape for guitars. Okay? So I bought it. And what I did was, I put the copper tape on my skin, and it seemed to help in several different areas on my body. But it kept falling off, like when I would move around. So what I had to do was I had to buy sports adhesive tape and then put the copper tape on the back of it and then press both up against me so that the sports adhesive tape would keep the copper tape in place. You would not believe what I've been through. You literally would not believe what I've been through. Okay? And it worked. So what it did, which is why you see these outlines here. Okay? Right? So in some of these, like this part right here, this is the black goo from the sports adhesive tape. And the copper tape was put on the sports adhesive tape. And then the copper EMF tape was put on the sports adhesive tape. And then it was rested upon my skin. And what happened is that prevented a lot of electricity from going from the armpit area, okay, on a lot of dates, from it flowing down into the side torso area. But the perpetrators, if you got this type of, if you got this type of stuff in you, you should additionally know that if you got this type of stuff in you, a lot of these things that are put in you, the different things that are put in you, okay, a lot of them are also sensor nodes that allows the perpetrators to see how well you're being affected. So if you're doing anything that interrupts with their goals, they'll send more current to you, or at least keep the same constant current going. Now, if you put grounding tape on you and that current doesn't have anywhere else to go, were they trying to get it to go up in here to feed the controller or any other devices that might be in here, like for bladder and bowel control, which is a additional, part of this video series. That, in other words, more videos will be made that will show you that information about that, and that's going to blow your mind as well. Okay, oh, absolutely. Just trust me. Stay with me, folks, because this is all interconnected. Oh, absolutely. Okay, so basically you put the copper tape on the adhesive tape, and then you slap it on you. And that grounds the skin out, okay? But they're still feeding the charge. So that means that even though the current is still being sent to it, it's building up. And as a result of it building up, it creates the burns. And then it starts to leak, and that's what creates the burns. And then it starts to leak into the next area. And so that's why you see. And do you notice how you see the same X here? And then let's go back to the arm implant one. Do you see any type of X there? X, 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 X. Okay? Right? And then down here, you see a different type of X. Okay? These are distinct patterns, folks. Absolutely. They were literally murdering me intentionally. Sadistically. Now, you should know that these types of arm implants and the leg implants that I'll show you in video 3 and 4 are reported to be connected to ear implants. Okay? So I'm going to briefly show you something, I'm going to let you go. This is going to be the shortest video of this video series. I'm going to briefly show you something. I just clicked on the Sound Spectrum Analyzer app, and I'm going to stop talking, and I want you to look at this. Alright, now this is a Sound Spectrum Analyzer app. I'm at a wooded area that has no homes on it, no buildings on it, no electrical lines on it. Look, watch this. By the way, that's ultrasound to the far right. Okay, I'm trying to get my finger over here. Okay, so that's ultrasound right there. Now, a human being cannot think that fast. Excuse me a second. A human being cannot think that fast. If you went to Google and researched at Google, it takes, I think, 5 neurons for one word of thought. So in other words, like the word the is 5 neurons. It takes time for that neuron. It takes about, I think, 0.05 seconds for one neuron to get created per word. Bear with me a second. You'll understand this in a second. And you can Google this too. So when you sit in front of a keyboard and you compose something, you think it through thought, verbal language, and then it sends an instruction to all your trapezoid muscles connected to your neck, your trapezoid muscle that's below your collarbone and your back, your front chest, your side torso, your arm, your elbow, your forearm, your wrist, your hand, your fingers to type that word from your primary motor cortex. This all takes time. First, you got to compose the thought. That takes time concerning neuron, creation, and it flow, to the primary motor cortex, to the trapezoid muscles, and then to the arm, wrist, hand, fingers to type in that word. Now, you might think to yourself, what the hell is she talking about? Try sitting in front of a computer and typing in on a keyboard all these sound frequencies and their dedicated fluctuating decibels as fast as you see them. Because you got to have the thought, I'm going to type in 64 hertz. I'm going to type in 21 hertz. I'm going to type in 107 hertz, along with the decibels. Okay? The brain and the hand cannot work this fast. This is an automated system. This is the creation of sound frequencies as a result of it being programmed in a computer, okay, through an algorithm. Do you hear any sound in my environment right now? A human brain cannot type this in that fast after thinking each sound frequency. That you got to think the sound frequency you want to type in, then you got to type it in, and then you got over 18 sound frequencies here, and the ultrasound. You can't think and type that fast, including by associating in the algorithm the dedicated decibel for each sound frequency. You can't think and do it that fast. This is a pre-programmed automated system, which means it's got motive. Even if you typed it in, it would have motive. But this is a specific, detailed program algorithm set up through an automated system. You are witnessing frequency hopping. So why is frequency hopping in my environment right now? With ultrasound. At a wooded area. So, now, when you dive into the research connected to all the different types of implants that I'm going to, well, the majority of the type, let's just put it to you this way. The arm implants that I just showed you so far in video 1, 2, and this being the third video, and then the fourth and fifth video, I'm going to show you the leg implants. You need to understand, and the bladder and bowel implants. What you need to understand, folks, is that in video 1, I showed you a picture of implants in the middle of the brain, which would be neuroprosthetic implants. Okay? Because all of our limb movements come from the brain, the primary and premotor cortex. The brain says, I'm going to pick up a cup. It says it sends the signals to the central nervous system. Okay? From the central nervous system to the EMG signals, which are your muscles movements. And then you got all the other implants that play a role. Okay? So an individual that's got something like this, including the leg implants that you're going to see me expose in video 4 and 5, then you can sit back and say to yourself, what's the likelihood of all these things being in a human being without there being a neuroprosthetic implant, which is an implant in the brain itself, which is also all over the internet to be types of implants put in who? Gang stalking victims. Now, let me go back to the PDF file for a second. If you can just bear with me. So you might think to yourself, how can sound be in play here concerning a set of integrated implants from the ears, okay, to the neck, from the ears to the neck, okay, to the shoulder, to the arms, to the abdomen area, to the pelvic area, to the legs, to the shin, to the ankle, the feet, and the toes. And you got to remember the arm implants are also dedicated to the elbow, wrist, hands, and fingers. Because you got to understand something about the pathology of these demonic bastards. They look at human beings as commodity. Like when people go on Wall Street. When people go on Wall Street, what do? They trade stock. That's how they look at us. They look at us as stock. Okay? They don't look at us as free-living human beings. They look at us as stock. Okay? They do not look at us at all in any way, shape, or form as human beings. They look at us as being a subject matter, something to make money off of. And they do it through extreme, brutal, sadistic slavery. And they control every bit of it, concerning the perpetration of it and the protection of it. Period. End of story. Okay? So this right here is a brief picture. I showed a better one in video 1. The prosthetic implant that would be in the brain. Right in the middle of the brain. The antenna lead goes up to the top. Additional leads on the side of the brain. Then there's a device right around the vagus nerve. Here's one of the ear implants. Okay, then you got 3 in the spine, 1 in the back of the head, and 1 in the back of the neck. Okay? that right there should show you that an ear implant is in play. So let me go to the one I wanted to actually show you about here. Let me just try and find it and bring it up. Bear with me a second. Bada bada boom. And right now the picture just happens to be blurry. I wonder what that's about. So bear with me. I gotta set the phone back down. Oh. Okay. So I finally got it up. Because you want to, what you want to do when I show this to you is you want to Google it. Okay. Hold on a second. This is going to be a short video. I'm going to show you this and I'm going to let you go because I got to get up and rotate my chargers. God dang it. So I got to go back and find it again because it just magically disappeared off my phone right when I had it brought up. It just magically disappears. I'm enduring a lot of energy right now at my forehead hairline. Oh, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, pardon me. Okay, so I just brought it back up, and so what you want to do is you want to Google this. Now, when I make video 4 and 5, you're going to see additional materials that will give you in-between information, and then other sequential information. Go to Google and type this in. Okay. Now, when you go to page 2 of that article, I think it's either page 2 or page 3, what you want to do, I gotta wait till this goes back to portrait mode. What you want to do, hold on a second. Is pay very close attention to this picture of that PDF file. Alright, so let me zoom in on it. What do you notice here? Now, when you bring this up, you're going to see the thing that is put, okay, it's an eardrum implant. And trust me, one gang stalking victim can have up to 7 different auditorial implants in them. In their mouth, their nose, okay, bone conduction cochlear ear implants, and then you can also have eardrum implants put in you because they're doing different things, okay? Oh, absolutely. So this one right here, this type of implant right here converts sound through a piezoelectric transducer into each. So I showed you the sound spectrum analyzer app, right? And all the different sound frequencies that were bebopping up and down. And I said that there's no way a human being can think each one of these sound frequencies in real time in order to then type them in on the keyboard. And then it would cause that sound to be heard in my environment. There's no way a human being can think what they need, type it in that fast, and then have the sound, okay, emit in my environment that fast. It's an automated system. Because they either got transmitters and or antennas and or emitters directly around this area. Absolutely. Okay. So what happens is that the sound goes in the ear implant. And so each bebopping up and down sound frequency goes to the ear implant, and it runs into something like this. Once it goes through the piezoelectric transducer, it then gets converted to a radio wave. And it shows you the radio wave spectrum here. Okay? Right? And so what you would have here then is, more than likely, either nanowires, biomedical wires, and nanowires are smaller than a hair. You know, the hair on the top of your head. And then each portion radio wave will go to each implant. Do you notice how this one implant here is right by the ear? Okay? So that's in part suspected at this time to be believed concerning how these implants are getting each specific radio wave from sound conversion to radio wave per, okay, a piezoelectric transducer ear implant. And when you see the other materials I got that connects the arm implants to the leg implants, and in between those are bladder and bowel implants, you'll see a direct connection to ear implants. Okay? So just trust me, folks. I know this is a lot for you to chew on, especially if you don't know anything at all about gang stalking. But what you got to remember, folks, is that these people, we're talking about many, many different fields of expertise here. Vascular surgeons, okay, electrodiagnostics, okay, audiologist. We're talking about a massive, like, if you can imagine 25 different doctors, each one having a specific PhD expertise, sitting around a huge conference table in a Fortune 500 hospital setting. There you go. Okay? So basically what it is, because like the islands implants that are in my eyes that I showed in video 1, okay, which are right here. That was obviously an ophthalmologist in play there. Okay? They knew exactly what they were doing. The crime itself had to know how to get a hold of me in order to render me unconscious for the operation itself. And you should also know I got a 3.5-inch long horizontal surgery scar, less than 1/64 of an inch, directly below my left occipital lobe. Your occipital lobe is directly connected to what? Vision. Now hold on a second. I gotta let you go, folks, because I gotta go rotate my solar panels. But I want you to know, my friends out there, people who care about truth, people that care about. I'm just an average person. You go to a grocery store or a shopping mall and you see people coming and going, average people. I'm just an average person. So let's just metaphorically assume that this happened to me. What do you think? What do you think that do you have any, if you had any idea, and I mentioned this in video 2, imagine this being put in you. Imagine extremely sophisticated means, because there's more than one means to send energy to these implants, which I showcased in video 2. Okay, because you should think to yourself, why is there sound like this in my environment right now? Do you hear anything? Is this ELF, acoustic broadcasting, which is bone conduction? You can go to Google and type in bone conduction ear implants. Any implant, any ear implant can also be modified. Okay? Oh, absolutely. Because we're talking about, these people got money. This crime right here is massively reported to be connected to the United States military, compartments within it, DARPA, the DOD, and intelligence agencies. And if you don't think that they don't have the power to censor you electronically, think again. You should also research libraries and gang stalking. Because think about this, and then I gotta literally let you go. Trust me, when you see video 4, 5, and 6, you're gonna have a more thorough, comprehensive, synthesized understanding. Which means what's gonna be exposed in video 4, 5, and 6, that information can be synthesized to this. Okay? I want you to listen to me very carefully. This crime is going on all over the nation concerning the crime of gang stalking. These are sub-crimes of gang stalking, deeply embedded within the overall crime motivations of gang stalking. When you go to Google and type in at Google, hold on. Go to Google and type in at Google the following in the following way that I stated. Excuse me. Type in at Google John Hall Bioethics Commission transcripts testimony. Dr. John Hall Bioethics Commission transcript testimony 2010 and 11. And you're going to see about 70 or 80 gang stalking victims testifying before President Obama's Bioethics Commission. Every single one of them are up there talking about being tortured, implanted, hit with directed energy weapons, lasers, experiencing community-based gang stalking, the police involvement in this crime. And then when you research gang stalking to libraries, what do gang stalking victims do when their electronics are intentionally sabotaged? They go to libraries to try and do research to find out what's happening to them and to expose what's happening to them. So when you get a library manager walk up to you and stage a complete, total, thorough, bold-faced, bullshit lie complaint about you, and then use that complaint to ban you, what is the goal of that? The goal of that is so that you cannot use internet services at the library, including through your own laptop, to do the research that will help you see the additional things happening to you, and to contact lawyers, to prepare for contacting for lawyers, medical research, law research, and to expose evidence that you already have. They don't want you doing that. They know you're doing it through cyber surveillance. So in other words, they're staging complete falsified bullshit stage complaints so they can ban you to stop the research and to stop the exposure and to stop the legal preparation. Am I referring to University City Library on Govan Road and Genesee Avenue, the Northern University San Diego Public Library in San Diego, and what have I endured at Point Loma Library? What was I enduring at U of M Dearborn, Michigan Library and Henry Ford Centennial Library in Dearborn, Michigan? What was I enduring at the U of M Ann Arbor Library in Ann Arbor, Michigan? What was I enduring at the Bloomfield Hills Library on Lone Pine Road and Telegraph Road in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan? Gang stalking. Okay, what did I endure out here at USD, UCSD, and SDSU Library? Gang stalking, and I got indisputable evidence of it. They don't want you to be able to have internet resources because you're using the internet to expose what they've done to you, what they're doing to you, cooperating evidences and materials related to your evidence. So if you take discovered, okay, scientific articles that identically match to your experiences and your evidence, they can see you're finding it through the illegal criminal cyber surveillance, which is a felony in itself. It's a Class A felony to hack into my computer. It's a Class A felony to hack into my phone and my new tablet, which, by the way, I'm going to make this statement, and I literally got to let you go because I got to get up and rotate my solar panels. Check this out. I just bought a tablet and picked it up about 7-8 days ago, and I went to 5 different places trying to get that tablet connected to an internet service provider. And you would not believe the different things that I endured at each place, including severe extreme targeting at UC Laundromat just here a few days ago when I was trying to get it done. Try doing research on a computer in a hot laundromat while you're being extremely brutalized. They know you can't fucking prove it because you're being remotely brutalized. Okay? And by the way, you should also know, sweat. I was just recently on a national radio show again here in the past couple months. 3 times. Okay? And on one of the national radio shows, Clyde Lewis openly stated that sweat and a victim's sweat glands helps the energy, once it's put in you, transfer to where they want it to go. And so, when you go to a coffee shop, say you go to a laundromat that's in the same shopping plaza that a coffee shop's at, and you use your computer fine at the coffee shop. I'm sorry, at the laundromat. Then 2 days later, you go to the coffee shop, and your computer is saying you cannot connect to our service. And it's being portrayed in a way to where you have no proof that it's actually being hacked and sabotaged. So you can't get no work done, right? At the coffee shop. You can't get no research done. You can't get no exposure done. You can't try and get your tablet set up. Right? Okay? So this happened at Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf. So then I go back to the laundromat on a very hot day. Okay? And so I'm sweating like bullets in the laundromat. I'm able to get on the internet, but I can't really get nothing done because I'm being sadistically targeted at the laundromat. So do you see how they can bebop you and jostle you from one place to another? Okay, you go to the Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf where it's nowhere near as hot as the laundromat. Okay, to use your computer to try and help you what you're doing on the computer to help you get your tablet set up. Okay, all right, and you're prevented from getting online through Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf's Wi-Fi service magically, right? So you can't get nothing done. So you don't get no type of work done at all concerning trying to get your tablet set up because you can't use your computer, okay? You can't use your friggin' computer in order to help you figure out what you need to find out on the computer to help you get the tablet worked out. While your vision is suddenly blurry, all of a sudden too. Try doing thorough research on a tablet that you're not really totally familiar with yet. When a tablet's a lot smaller than a computer monitor screen, while your vision is being blurred, go to Google and research at Google how direct energy weapons can blur your vision. And I don't think anybody with 2 fucking brain cells would have any problem understanding my eyes are being targeted. Look at the electromagnetic weapon boil bumps. Okay? So, if they prevent you from getting on Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf's Wi-Fi, while you're not able to prove that they're preventing you from getting on the Wi-Fi, how are you going to prove it? Because the demonic bastard who's hacking into your computer and controlling that connection to Wi-Fi is somewhere in the vicinity. Okay? So, but how are you going to prove who it is? And they know it. That's why they do it. Okay? Because think about it. If you can connect to your computer at the UC Laundry that's in the same shopping plaza, okay, and then you take less than a minute and a half to walk to Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf, but can't use your computer there, do you really think that that's natural? Of course it ain't. Well, I experienced the same thing yesterday at the San Diego Library on Draper Street and Pearl Street off of bus route 30. Went all the way over there, okay, and wasn't able to get on my computer. And then they finally started bringing in people wearing color coding. They knew better to say the repeated words and phrases around me at that library, okay, because it would have got caught on my tape recorder, okay, all right, so they brought in color coding instead. Now, I know you don't understand that right now, but just trust me, it's got to do with the islands and plants. Oh, absolutely, okay, and you wouldn't believe what other things that I noticed, as I was there and as I was leaving and stuff. So, anyways, folks, just research libraries and gang stalking. So, anyways, couple nights ago, I brought up my tablet, and I discovered something by looking at a Simple Mobile SIM kit. And on the Simple Mobile SIM kit, it said that you could... I'll give you an example about this. Just hold on a second. So I brought up the tablet, and then I opened up the Simple Mobile SIM kit, okay? And as I was reading the text on the Simple Mobile SIM kit, it said that if you need help in finding your IMEI number, all you got to do is bring up your phone app and bring up the keyboard app and type in certain things like star, okay, and then the pound key, and then I think 066 or 666 or something like that, and then the pound key again, and it will immediately bring up your IMEI. And your IMEI is needed to be given to Simple Mobile so you can set up a cell phone carrier plan on the tablet. So I literally did this on the tablet using the phone app. The very next day, the phone app disappeared from my tablet. And that wasn't discovered until I went to the library yesterday. Now, I did that here. Yeah, I did that here. And so I copied down the IM, even though I can get into this information by going into where it says about phone or about tablet within the settings of the tablet. But that's not the point I'm making here. The point I'm making here is that, like, let's see if I remember this correctly. Hold on a second. No, I didn't remember it right, so I can't do it on this phone to show you a slight example. I wouldn't show you the whole IME. But anyways, I might, if it's not really important, but if I remember to, I might include it in video 4 or 5 or 6. Okay. So anyways, how did my phone app icon that you see here on this phone here, it's the same thing. It's the same thing that's on the tablet. Okay, so you see the phone app icon? It's the same thing that's on the tablet. It completely disappeared off the tablet. And it was discovered yesterday afternoon when I got to the library. So there's no way for me to bring up the phone app at all, or for me to bring up the keypad on it. No way at all. So, and it's a brand new tablet. It's not even 6 days old. So that had to have been done here or at the library, because the night before I brought up the phone app on the tablet right here. Okay, so, stay tuned for maybe some exposures about that in a separate type of video. All right, I gotta let you go, folks, because I literally gotta get up and rotate my solar panels. Stay tuned for video 4, 5, and 6 that I might make video 4 later on today, and then I'll make video 5 and 6, and then I'll upload them. And make sure you stay with this account, because when you see the additional information that's going to be exposed in video 4, 5, and 6, your jaw is going to drop. Thank you for listening, and have a good day.